fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1803, which means we have 23 days to go until we hit 1826 for our ends of 5 years. Tonight's topic, a funny thing happened. I love telling stories. I really do. And I got two that happened today. Two. So where do we begin? Now, I have to tell you, telling stories and finding the humor in a story is, there's a lot of stories out there. There's tragic stories. There's the funny story. At one end you've got the tragedy, and the other end you've got the fun stories. And then you've got the ones that are in between that can go either way or can be interpreted in different ways. And sometimes when they're tending towards the tragic end of the scale, you can actually a few years later look back and turn them into something quite funny. But these are two stories that happened today that were straight out hilarious. For me, anyway. One of them gave me a really cool, it was a beautiful start to the day. And the first one, which I'll tell last, you'll go, why? And you'll see why in a minute. Gave me such an amazing start to the day. And then the day has just kind of like snowballed and become this amazing magical Monday. So we're going to start with story number 2. So this morning I'm sitting in here and I'm working on the desk. Zeffie's in the recliner and I'm working away and all that. And then I look up and Zeffie's laying on the floor, just sprawled out, sleeping in front of the fan where she can keep nice and cool. Because today we had a high of 116 degrees Fahrenheit, which in Celsius is 47 degrees. So we're getting close to that 50 digit. In fact, I don't even know what 50 degrees Celsius would be in Fahrenheit. Let's see if we can quickly turn this around. So 50 degrees Celsius would be 122 Fahrenheit. All right, got it. Okay, so we got to 47 degrees today. 47 degrees Celsius or 116 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a little warm today, hence the lighter clothes and everything. I just needed to be, mind you, I did have to get changed, but that story will come later. So I decided I've got to a point where I was just getting tired. I wasn't concentrating properly. I knew I needed a break. And so I decided to have a break. So I decided that I was going to take my break in the recliner, which Zeffie has claimed as her chair. And so she's laying on the floor snoozing there in front of the fan. And so I go and climb into the recliner and put the feet up, stretch it back, have a night. And I'm sitting there and I'm reading. And the next thing I know, I wake up. I completely dozed off. I wake up and it's just before 11 o'clock. Now, 11 o'clock on Monday through Friday is when I have my lunch break because I start work on the help chat at 12 o'clock. So I have my lunch hour before then. And so I woke up and Zeffie is nowhere to be seen. The curtains were still closed because I had been on a Zoom earlier that morning. And where is she? And so I open up the curtains, and on the other side of the curtains is her bed that used to sit at the front of the RV on the dashboard, which now I leave it on the floor in the other room. So when we have really nice days where I can open the front door, I have the front door open and I put her bed in the way there so she can keep an eye on the neighborhood in comfort. And so she was curled up in that asleep. And so as soon as I open up the curtain, she looks at me. She sees the chair's free, and so she just gets up and stretches and comes and climbs into her chair. She stayed there for the next 3 hours. So when I took my break just before 2 o'clock this afternoon, I tell her, come on, you got to get out of this chair. You've been in it for way too long. She was not leaving the chair. And normally she doesn't get in the chair until midday when I start work, and then she'll get on and off it throughout that time. She's standing there for a solid 3 hours. So she's like, this is my chair. And so when I got up to take my break, she starts, and I says, come on, get out of the chair. And so she reluctantly got out of the chair, and then she follows me around the house. When I started walking back towards the office, she ran ahead of me and got into the chair. But then I fooled her by going into the kitchen to get my afternoon drink and snacks before I came back to work again. And she suddenly realized that, oh, you're getting food in the kitchen. So then she came out to the kitchen to see what was going on. And so I got her treat, and she goes to run to her mat in the living room, in the family room area, which is where she gets her evening treats. But her afternoon snack she has in here on the mat, which I can't see, which is behind us. And so I go, no, we're not going there. I says, come on, into the office. And so she comes in and she actually laid down on the floor and had a thing. But then after we got back from the break, she was in and out of the chair. She decided that the chair was safe. I was not going to take it over again. So that was our second funny story of the day. The first funny story of the day We go out for our walk this morning, and we were out there. We left at 5:30 this morning to go for our walk because it was already 89 degrees. You're probably going to ask me that, and it's in the. Oh, I'm going to go look it up because I totally forgot to look it up beforehand. 89. It was already 32 degrees Celsius or 89 degrees Fahrenheit when we went for our walk this morning, and but it was actually very pleasant out. The humidity was very, very low, and I thought, well, this is a very nice morning being out here. So we're out there, we're doing our walk, we're on our way back. Zeffie's seeing some of her dog friends out. This is, I got to tell you, this is really weird. It happens every single time. So I don't always go out for a walk at the same time every day. We vary our time. And what is really weird is that we always meet the same people when we go out for our walk, no matter what time we leave. And she gets to meet her doggy friends that are out for a walk at the same time, no matter what time we leave. So we leave at 5:30. We got to meet all of her dog friends that she meets if we went for a walk at 7 o'clock. That all those dog friends would be out again. I don't know if it's something in the air or something, but the dog walking times seem to be synced around. Whenever we're out for a walk, we basically meet the same dogs every morning, and it doesn't matter if we leave at 5 o'clock, at 5:30, at 5:45, at 7 o'clock. We will meet the same dogs on our walk every morning. It doesn't matter what time we leave. So that's kind of a coincidence thing. I don't know. But anyway, we're out enjoying the walk this morning because it was a beautiful morning out there. The humidity was really, really low. So it was a very pleasant morning, even though it was 89 degrees and Fahrenheit. And so we're out walking, and then we come across this guy. He's got this cute little dachshund that's called Joey, and she's just a doll. She is absolutely adorable. And Zeffie likes Joey, and Joey likes Zeffie. And he goes, it's really weird because she doesn't usually like bigger dogs. And I said, that's because Zeffie's got that personality where she would actually get down there and play. And with that, Zeffie drops down to the ground in play mode at this other dog's level and not up higher where she would be with other dogs. When she wants to play with the bigger dogs, she has a different stance. But when she wants to play with the little dogs, she gets down low on their level. And I said, that's because she gets on her level and she seems to understand all size dogs and that, and knows how to approach them. And although some of them she will dive at, but when it comes to playing, she seems to know which ones want to play and which ones don't. But for some reason, this Joey likes Zeffie, even though Zeffie's, way bigger than her. And so they're busy playing around and all that. And him and the guy and I are sitting there and they just chatting away and shooting the breeze and all that sort of thing. I'm on the grass, he's on the pavement. And Zeffie suddenly jumps, and I'm like, why do you do that? All of a sudden, the sprinklers come on. And I knew we were getting close to the time where that area of the park, the sprinklers come on. Yeah, we weren't standing to the side of the sprinklers. We weren't standing, and Zeffie bolts, and when she jumped onto the pavement. So she didn't get wet at all. Me, I'm standing right in front of a sprinkler head. I got wet from the waist down, absolutely saturated, because the sprinkler head came on right in front of me, covered me from the waist down. And all I could do, and I'm standing there in the water as it's busy spraying it, all I could do is just stand in the water and laugh. And the guy's just looking at me, but he starts laughing too. And Zeffie's standing on the pavement, and she's got her head up, she looks like she's proud, well, I didn't get wet. And all I could do is stand there in the water as it's spraying away. And it's one of those ones that has a moving head. So the head eventually moved so I wasn't getting wet anymore. I was catching the edge of it. But I'm just laughing like crazy. My pants, the bottom of my T-shirt and my pants are all dripping wet. For some reason, it didn't get my shoes. I got my socks, but it didn't dampen my shoes. That's how high off the ground it was. So I got my socks, but it didn't get my shoes. And I am just cracking up laughing. I think it's the funniest thing out there. I got a really good belly laugh at it. The guy was absolutely cracking up laughing. When he saw me laughing, he started laughing because he wasn't sure what to do to begin with. And so all the way home, we were probably about halfway back. So we'd already gone down to the end, turned around, and we're on our way back home again. And we were probably about halfway from where we turn around to head back to the house. So we probably had about a quarter mile left to go. I'm having to walk in wet pads with a wet T-shirt from the waist down. So the bottom of my T-shirt and my pants absolutely wet. And Zeffie's just prancing along I didn't get wet. I didn't get wet. But it was the funniest start to the day. So when I got home, I thought, I needed to take a shower anyway. But And in actual fact, that water was, I don't know if it's reclaimed water or not, but all I knew is that when I got home, I was having a shower anyway. And so I started off with a cold shower thanks to the sprinklers in the park. And fortunately, I didn't meet anybody else on the way home. But I laughed the whole way home. I could not stop laughing. Every time I took a step, of course, I could feel these wet clothes clinging to my legs. And I'm like, yeah, this is. So we came inside and got changed, had a shower and everything else. And it was all good. It was all good. But it was the funniest start to the day that I've had in a long time. And I just couldn't stop laughing about it. And it just gave me that extra boost. And of course, those endorphins get going and just make you feel really good. And so that set the tone for the entire day, where it's been a great, fantastic day. We had the other laugh with Zeffie, making sure I did not reclaim her recliner. She wasn't even going to move when I took a break. She said, you've been in this chair for 3 hours. You're moving. And I almost actually lifted it. I was getting ready to lift her off when she decided she was going to jump off. So, but anyway, so funny things happen. Just random things that you don't expect, and they just make you laugh. And laughter is excellent. It's good for your health, because when you're in a good mood and you've got those endorphins going and everything else, your body's in a healing mode. And they say laughter is the best medicine, and it really is. When Brad was in hospital after his first surgery, his intestinal system wouldn't wake up. But every day we're in that room and we are laughing and laughing and laughing, because when you do the good belly laughs, there are aerobic exercises for your internal organs. And so it aids with digestion. It aids with the blood circulating around your system with all the good stuff in it, because all those endorphins are flooding your system, and you feel really good. When you feel good, you're more likely to do things that are good for you rather than things that are bad for you. So, it has a whole thing. And plus, it lifts your psyche. It makes you feel better. You're feeling good. You're open to better opportunities coming in and everything else. And, there's just something just magical about laughter. So find a reason to laugh every day, even if it's going on and watching some stupid TikToks. I saw this one yesterday, and I was sort of like, I said, my friend Kathy and I, we send funny videos backwards and forwards to each other. And just to bring laughter into each other's day, we just send funny videos. And there's a couple she sent me, and I'm just like, what are people thinking? And there was one where this woman was dead serious. And what was the question? Oh, yeah, she said, NASA says it's too hot to fly to the sun, so why don't they go at night when the sun turns off? I'm like, wait, what? Like, is she serious? Oh my goodness. Just silly things like, and then this guy's going around and going, and what state is Utah? I'm like, but hang on, Utah's a state. And he's asking, and these people are coming up with like Oklahoma or California, they're coming up with different states. And I'm like, okay, they're really not listening to the question, or they really don't know. And it's sort of like, makes you stop and think. But anyway, go find a reason to laugh. There's some, and oh my gosh, the animal antic videos, I absolutely love those. And the baby videos too. The baby videos and the animal videos will get me every single time. And there are some that I am laughing so hard that I've got to wait like about 10 minutes before I can forward it off to Kathy, because, she gets it later on. But anyway, so find a reason to laugh every day, especially in the morning when you've just woken up. And if you're not a morning person, find a reason to laugh, because I know it takes you guys a little bit to get going. I totally get it. I used to be a night person when I was living in New Zealand. I moved to the US. I became a morning person. Whether it's something to do with being in the Northern Hemisphere versus the Southern Hemisphere, I don't know. I know that when I do go home now, I'm still a morning person. I don't flip back to being a night person. So I totally get the night person thing, and trying to find some reason to laugh first thing in the morning when you're really a night person and you don't want to get out of bed before 10 o'clock. I totally get that. I have been there. I've done it. Excuse me. But I would tell you this, find a reason to laugh every morning. Just go spend 10 minutes just scrolling through TikTok videos or reels and that sort of stuff, and finding the funny ones, or subscribe to the ones that are the funny ones anyway, and so that they pop up in your thing, and just spend 5 minutes watching them and having a good laugh. Trust me, it will wake you up, it will energize you, it will get you going for the day, it will set you in the right mood, right frame of mind for everything, and just gives you a good boost to the day. So that's it from us for today. I'm going to make Zeffie wait for another hour and a bit before we go for a walk, because I really don't want to go for a walk outside right now with it being like 114 degrees outside. Yeah, 114 degrees. Yeah, that's 45 degrees Celsius. It hasn't changed much from the 116. So go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Go find a reason to laugh. If you want to, in the comments, leave some links to funny videos that you find hilarious. Just leave some links there. I'll go check them out because I love watching funny videos. So go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. And we may have a guest on tomorrow night. Who will we have on? I don't know. We might. But go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening.